Straight
Going over the top of problems. This is a concept that I talked about in my book, Work on Your Game, and I talked about it in many videos in the past. And it's something that comes up over and over again because we always have issues and things that we want to deal with. The challenge for most human beings is that we use up too many of our resources dealing with small things and small solutions to small things, or small solutions to big things, when if instead we asked ourselves a better question and resolved to go over the top of a problem, then we can get things solved a lot more efficiently and a lot more effectively. Efficiently means getting something done while using as few resources as possible, and effectively means getting things done at the highest level possible. So we want to do both at the same time. The way you do that is by going over the top of the problem. So for example, if you're in a relationship with a guy or a girl and you end up breaking up with that person and you're kind of pissed off about the breakup, you're pissed off about how they did it, why they did it, maybe something that they did that led you to doing it, whatever the situation is, you could, on one hand, get on the internet and post negative shit about them and trash them and bash them and throw all their clothes out the window or whatever it is that you do when people are crazy and they break up with another person. You could do that. Problem is that's a small solution that it uses up a lot of resources and it doesn't really gain you anything. The better solution, the ideal solution, is to make yourself such a much better person as a guy or a girl in the future that a year from now, 5 years from now, that same person is going to think of you, look you up on social media or Google you or hear about you from a mutual acquaintance or whatever it is, and they're going to see how amazing you've become since the breakup, that you get all your revenge right there. That's the most effective way to handle the situation, and it's efficient because you're making yourself a higher quality person, which means you can go get yourself a better guy or a girl in the future, and you're able to get your revenge, if you want to call it that, without even trying to get revenge. So you see how you're taking care of everything all at once. You're taking care of multiple things all at once and solving your immediate problem without any waste of resources, which is what you should do. The example that Over the Top first came from, I could have told you this first, was I was on a plane years ago and I was sitting in coach. This is like one of the last times I sat in coach. And one of the reasons I stopped sitting in coach is because I'm tall, I'm 6'4". So I was sitting there and somebody reclined their seats and it hit my legs, and I asked them, hey, could you not recline the seat? And they were nice enough to put the seat back up. But I was thinking to myself, well, what if they would have said no? Or do they even have to if I asked? What if they said no and I would have called the flight attendant and it became a confrontation? Does this person have to put their seat up? And the answer was, I went and found out, the answer is no, they don't. If somebody has a seat on a plane, they can recline the seat if they want to, and if it's uncomfortable for you, tough shit, generally is the answer to the question. Now, most people are nice enough that maybe they'll not recline if you ask them, but not everybody's nice. So I said, all right, what if I have somebody sitting in front of me who's not nice and they want to recline? What if they're as tall as me, they just feel like they need to recline? Now, I personally never recline a seat on a plane, even when I'm sitting in first class, which I do now, but I asked myself, okay, how can I solve this problem just in case this happens again? And the solution was not get nicer at asking people to move their seats up or become really good at arguing people down as to why they should, because that's a failing solution. It might not work. And what did I actually prove? And how did I actually solve my problem? I didn't really solve the problem. The problem is still there. I just came up with a band-aid for the problem. I want a complete solution. The complete solution was, okay, Dre, every time you get on a plane, you either need to sit in the exit row or you need to sit in first class. And that's how I solved the problem. So again, I never had a problem again of somebody reclining their seat on me, because in first class you can recline a seat, but it doesn't touch you because there's enough space. And I got myself a good seat in the first class section. You get a meal, you get nicer service from the flight attendants, you get the connections you get to make with the people who are also sitting next to you on the plane. It's a much better situation. So all of that was the solution to the problem. So going over the top, let's say you go to a restaurant or you go to pick up some food and the person working there is kind of rude to you and not as attentive as they should be. You could prove your point by giving them a piece of your mind and cussing them out and telling them how they're messing up, or go calling on the manager and telling the manager that their worker is not doing their job the right way. You could do that, and you would possibly, assuming that you have a good argument, you can prove your point, and maybe the person gets fired, or they get upbraided, or you get a free $10 coupon for the next time you go to that place. You could do that, but the more effective and efficient way of handling this situation is for you to just be such a high level individual yourself that you leave there, you eat your food and go home, and you will remember, once you get a chance to calm down from the annoyance you had or the anger you had from the situation, and realize, well, listen, I'm this person, I have all of these things, I'm at this level professionally, I'm at this level as a person, I got these connections, I got all these things going on in my life. This person is working here, serving or handing out food at the pickup counter for $15 an hour. What do I need to prove to this person? You see, that's how you go above the issue. Instead of using up your resources, most importantly, your time, then even your attention and your energy on trying to prove a point so you can win something against a person who's not on your level, how about you just keep focusing on doing the things that got you to the level that you're at, and you win anyway without having to prove anything to that person, because they still got to stay there and work, and you still get to go and do your thing, whatever you were doing or whatever you're going to do when you get home from picking up your food. So you don't have to win every little battle against every little individual. One of my favorite books is called The 33 Strategies of War. It's written by Robert Greene, and I believe it's chapter 12. He calls it grand strategy. Grand strategy is about winning the war while not necessarily needing to win every battle. And what happens with a lot of people when we waste our resources, or we use our resources ineffectively and inefficiently, is that we focus on winning every little battle, that we have to prove ourselves to every single person. We got to try to prove ourselves right in every single engagement or argument on the internet. And even if you're right, even if you're actually right, even if you actually quote unquote win arguing with some no-name faceless clown on Instagram, what did you actually gain? You don't gain anything. You might gain a small little ego boost for 5 minutes because you argue down some no-name person that doesn't even have their real name and a real face on their account. Might not even be a real person. You might be arguing with an AI bot. You just used up your resources, which are worth this much, in order to beat somebody whose resources are only worth this much. So actually you lost, because you used $100 worth of time in order to do what you did. They only used $10 worth of time because their time's only worth $10. Yours is worth $100. So you lost, even though you won. This is what we call a Pyrrhic victory. A Pyrrhic victory is when you hear people say you cut off your nose to spite your face. This is what people are doing. You're using valuable resources in order to win something that is not a valuable resource, or to beat someone who is not valuable, period. This is where we got to be more mature. You have to be more disciplined, more structured in the way that you think, and think about how you can go over the top of problems, which often means not even having to address them in the first place, because as long as you keep being who you are, those problems don't really matter to you. They're small things. It's kind of like if you're a human walking around, it's not like you stop every time you see an ant and step on it to kill it. There are too many ants, and it's not worth it. The amount of time and effort it takes you to look for it and kill an ant is not worth the ROI from doing so. Like a lion killing a mouse. A lion could capture and kill a mouse and eat it, but the amount of effort it takes the lion to capture and kill the mouse is not enough to keep the lion alive. It's better off the lion just waits around for an antelope or a buffalo and kills that. Why? Because the ROI is a whole lot higher. You need to think about your life the same way. Are you running around trying to kill mice, or are you running around trying to kill buffalo and antelope and what's the other one? Gazelles. All right. That's how you eat. That's how you stay alive. And that's what the smartest people do. WorkOnYourGameUniversity.com. Have me as your direct coach. I'll show you how we do this mentally, how we do it strategically, systematically, and make sure you're held accountable to make it work in your life and in your business. Work on your game. Dre all day.